Christmas should be the happiest time of year, a time for family, warmth, and joy. A time when children believe in magic and miracles. But some families learn that not all visitors during Christmas are welcome. Some knock on your door when you least expect it, and some never leave. December 15th, 2018, Minnesota. Sarah Hoffman was excited. It was her first Christmas in their new house. Well, not exactly new. The house was built in 1924, a beautiful Victorian home with 3 stories, a wraparound porch and original hardwood floors. It was a dream house, the kind of place Sarah had always wanted to raise her family. She lived there with her husband Michael, their 8-year-old daughter Emma, and their 5-year-old son Lucas. They'd moved in 6 months earlier, in June. The summer had been perfect. The house was everything they'd hoped for: spacious, charming, full of character. But as winter approached, Sarah started noticing things. Small things at first, cold spots in certain rooms, even when the heat was on full blast. Doors that would swing shut on their own. The sound of footsteps upstairs when everyone was downstairs. Michael said it was just an old house settling.
Old houses make noises. They have drafts. It's normal.
Sarah wanted to believe him. She tried to ignore it. But then Emma started talking about the lady. It happened one morning in early December. Sarah was making breakfast when Emma came downstairs, rubbing her eyes. "Mommy, who was that lady in my room last night?" Sarah froze. "What lady, sweetie?" "The lady in the old dress. She was standing by my closet just watching me." Sarah's stomach twisted. "Emma, you were dreaming. There's no lady." "I wasn't dreaming," Emma insisted. "She was really there. She looked sad." Michael overheard this conversation. He knelt down next to Emma. "Emma, sometimes when we're half asleep, we see things that aren't real. It's called a dream. There's no lady in the house, okay?" Emma looked uncertain but nodded. That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about what Emma had said. A lady in an old dress, standing by the closet, watching. She told herself it was just a child's imagination. Kids have nightmares. It's normal. But 3 days later, Lucas saw her too. He came running into the kitchen, terrified, and jumped into Sarah's arms. "Mommy, there's a lady upstairs. She's in the hallway." Sarah's blood ran cold. "Lucas, what are you talking about?" "I saw her. She's wearing a long dress and she's just standing there. She won't move." Michael ran upstairs to check. He searched every room, every closet, every corner. Nothing, no one was there. But when he came back downstairs, even Michael looked shaken. "I didn't see anyone," he said, "but it's really cold up there. Like unnaturally cold." That night, they all slept with the lights on. The next morning, Sarah decided to do some research. She went to the local library and asked about the history of their house. The librarian, an elderly woman named Margaret, pulled out some old records.
"Oh, the Victorian on Elm Street,"
Margaret said, her expression changing. "That's the Whitmore house." "Whitmore?" Sarah asked. "Yes. It was built by Robert and Catherine Whitmore in 1924. They were a wealthy family. He was a businessman. She was, well, she had a tragic life." Margaret pulled out an old newspaper clipping from 1932. The headline read, "Local woman dies in house fire, Christmas Eve tragedy." Sarah read the article. Her hand started shaking. Catherine Whitmore had died on Christmas Eve, 1932. There had been a fire in the house. She'd been trapped in an upstairs bedroom. Her husband and children had escaped, but Catherine couldn't get out in time. She'd burned to death on Christmas Eve. The house was restored after the fire, Margaret explained. The family moved away shortly after. They couldn't bear to live there anymore. The house has changed hands many times over the years. "Why?" Sarah asked, though she already knew the answer. Margaret looked at her seriously.
"People don't stay long. They say the house is troubled, that Catherine never left."
Sarah drove home in silence. Her mind was racing. A woman died in their house on Christmas Eve, and now Emma and Lucas were seeing a woman in an old dress. It couldn't be a coincidence. When she got home, she told Michael everything.
Sarah, come on. You don't actually believe in ghosts, do you?
Then how do you explain what the kids are seeing?
Kids have vivid imaginations.
They probably heard something about the house, and a loud crash from upstairs interrupted him. They both ran up the stairs. In Emma's room, every single toy had been thrown off the shelves. Books were scattered across the floor. The closet door was wide open, and it was freezing. Their breath came out in visible clouds. Emma was standing in the doorway crying. "She did it," Emma whispered. "The lady did it. She's angry." That night, Sarah set up her phone to record Emma's room while they slept. She didn't tell Michael. She just needed to know. The next morning, she watched the footage. For the first 3 hours, nothing happened. Emma slept peacefully. Then, at 3:47 a.m., the temperature in the room seemed to drop. Frost appeared on the window, even though the heat was on. The closet door slowly opened, and then Sarah saw her. A figure appeared in the doorway, translucent but visible. A woman in a long Victorian-era dress. Her hair was dark and pulled back. Her face was pale, and her expression was one of deep sadness. She stood there, watching Emma sleep for nearly 10 minutes. Then she slowly faded away. Sarah dropped her phone. Her hands were shaking so badly she could barely hold it. It was real. The ghost was real. She showed the video to Michael. His face went white. "We need to leave," he said quietly. "We just bought this house. We can't afford to leave." "Then what do we do?" Sarah didn't have an answer. December 20th, 5 days before Christmas. The activity was getting worse. Every night, they heard footsteps pacing back and forth upstairs. Doors would slam. Objects would move on their own. Emma refused to sleep in her room. She was sleeping in their bed now, along with Lucas. The children were terrified. They barely ate. They didn't want to be alone in any room. And always, there was the cold, that unnatural, bone-deep cold that followed them through the house. Michael called a priest. Father Thomas came to the house the next day. He was an older man, probably in his 60s, with kind eyes and a calm demeanor. "Tell me what's been happening," he said. They explained everything. The sightings, the cold, the moving objects, the video footage. Father Thomas listened carefully. Then he walked through the house, carrying his Bible and a bottle of holy water. In Emma's room, he stopped. His expression changed. "There's a presence here," he said quietly.
A strong one. She's been here a long time.
Can you help us?
Sarah asked desperately.
I can bless the house. I can pray for the spirit to find peace. But I can't guarantee it will leave.
Spirits that have been in a place this long, they don't always want to go. Father Thomas performed a blessing ceremony. He went through every room, sprinkling holy water, reciting prayers. In Emma's room, when he sprinkled the holy water, the temperature dropped so suddenly that they could all see their breath. The closet door flew open with tremendous force. Father Thomas didn't stop. He continued praying, his voice growing stronger. Then, as suddenly as it started, everything went still. The cold faded. The house felt normal again. "Is it gone?" Michael asked. Father Thomas looked uncertain. "I've asked her to leave. Whether she will, we'll have to wait and see." That night, the house was quiet for the first time in weeks. No footsteps, no cold, no doors slamming. Sarah allowed herself to hope. Maybe it had worked. Maybe Catherine's spirit had finally moved on. December 24th, Christmas Eve. The day started normally. They decorated the tree, wrapped presents, prepared Christmas dinner. The children were excited again, back to their normal selves. By evening, the house was warm and festive. Christmas lights twinkled. The smell of cooking filled the air. Carols played on the radio. Sarah was putting the children to bed when Emma grabbed her hand. "Mommy, is the lady really gone?" "Yes, sweetheart, she's gone." "I hope so, because she was getting angrier. I could feel it." Sarah kissed her forehead. "Try not to think about it. Tomorrow's Christmas. Santa's coming tonight." Emma smiled and closed her eyes. Sarah went downstairs. She and Michael stayed up late, setting out presents under the tree, filling stockings, enjoying the peace. At midnight, Michael went to bed. Sarah stayed up a little longer, just enjoying the quiet house. The clock struck 12:30, And that's when Sarah heard it. Footsteps, slow, deliberate footsteps, walking across the floor directly above her. Back and forth, back and forth. Sarah's heart began to race. No, not again, not tonight. She looked at the stairs. The temperature was dropping. She could see her breath. And then she saw her. Catherine Whitmore stood at the top of the stairs. But she looked different now. More solid, more real. And she was looking directly at Sarah. Her face was no longer sad. It was angry, furious. "This is my house," Catherine's voice whispered, though her lips didn't move. The voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. "My house. Christmas Eve is mine." Sarah couldn't move. She was frozen with terror. Catherine started descending the stairs, step by step, getting closer. "You tried to make me leave. This is my house. I died here. This is where I belong." Sarah found her voice. "Please, we have children. We're just trying to have a nice Christmas." "I had children too," Catherine hissed. "And I died while they celebrated Christmas without me. Burned alive while they sang carols downstairs. Do you know what that's like?" Catherine was at the bottom of the stairs now, just feet away from Sarah. "Every Christmas Eve, I relive it. The smoke, the flames, the locked door, my family escaping while I burned." Sarah's mind raced. Locked door? The article had said she was trapped, but... "Your door was locked," Sarah whispered. Catherine's expression faltered. "He locked it. My husband. We'd had a fight. He locked me in that room. He said he'd let me out after I calmed down. But then the fire started. He got the children out, but he left me. He left me to die." Sarah felt a wave of sympathy. "Catherine, I'm so sorry, that's horrible. But we didn't do that to you. Please don't hurt my family." "I don't want to hurt them," Catherine said. And suddenly she sounded more sad than angry. I don't want to be alone on Christmas. Every Christmas Eve, everyone leaves. Every family that moves in here leaves before Christmas. They run away, and I'm alone again." Sarah understood now. Catherine wasn't trying to scare them away. She was trying to keep them there. She was desperately lonely, reliving her death every Christmas Eve, watching families celebrate the holiday she died on. "You don't have to be alone," Sarah said gently. "But you can't stay here. You need to move on. Your children, they're not here anymore, but they're somewhere. And maybe if you let go, you can find them." Catherine looked at Sarah with hollow eyes. "I don't know how." "Yes, you do. You just have to stop holding on to the anger, to the pain. You have to forgive him, and forgive yourself for dying." Tears formed in Catherine's eyes. "I can't." "You can. You're stronger than the pain, stronger than the anger. You can let go." For a long moment, Catherine just stood there. Then slowly, she looked around the house, at the Christmas tree, at the decorations, at the signs of life and family. "It's a beautiful Christmas," she whispered. "Yes," Sarah said, "and you made it possible. This house you built is full of love, full of family. That's your legacy, not the fire, not the death. This." Catherine smiled, a genuine, peaceful smile. And then she began to fade. "Merry Christmas," she whispered, and she was gone. The cold vanished instantly. The house felt warm again, normal. Sarah stood there for a long time, just breathing. The next morning, Christmas Day, the children woke up excited. They ran downstairs to see what Santa had brought. Sarah and Michael watched them, exhausted but happy. "Did something happen last night?" Michael asked quietly. "I woke up around 12:30 and the house was freezing." "Catherine was here," Sarah said. "But she's gone now, really gone. She moved on." Michael looked at her. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure." And she was. The house felt different, lighter, like something heavy had finally been lifted. They never saw Catherine again, never heard the footsteps, never felt the cold. The Hoffman family still lives in that house today. They've been there for 6 years now. Every Christmas Eve, Sarah lights a candle in the window for Catherine, for the woman who just wanted to be remembered, who wanted not to be alone. And sometimes, just sometimes, when the wind blows just right, Sarah swears she can hear it. A woman's voice, soft and distant, singing a Christmas carol. Not angry, not sad, just peaceful, finally at peace.